The town of Farmington. Respecting history, planning the future.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the Farmington Town Council meeting and ask you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first order of business is a presentation tonight, an Eagle Scout presentation. And I'd like to ask Jonathan Olszewski to come up here and join me, please. Tonight is really one of the fun nights on the council it's one of the most enjoyable for me is giving an award to some of our young people, and tonight it's to Jonathan for attaining the goal of Eagle Scout. This is something that is really something that I know a little bit about. My son is an Eagle Scout, and I know it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, and a lot of hard work to attain this rank. And it's many years of hard work, and also with a supportive family, which I met earlier. Very nice to meet you. But it does take Jonathan. He's the one that has to get through the number of years, 10 years possibly, somewhere around there, of hard work and a lot of energy and a lot of commitment to get to the Eagle Scout rank. And I think it's still about 1% of the people that start out, the young men that start out in scouting. It's about 1% that attain that goal. So you're certainly among a small group of very wonderful young men that have attained that goal. So the project that Jonathan did was an Eagle Scout Gold Award. Project title was No Kid Hungry, Summer Food Drive to benefit Farmington Food Pantry. John planned, secured permission to create, and executed a very successful campaign to obtain donations of food and cash for the Farmington Food Pantry. Now, he set a goal of 3,000 pounds. He exceeded that by over 1,000 pounds with over 4,000, around 4,000 pounds of food. In addition to that, he raised $1,500 toward that would be spent to the food pantry as well. And I happen to be involved with the food pantry, and I was for a number of years and I know that our needs have grown over the years. And this is just such a wonderful tribute to the town to have been able to contribute the food and dollars so that the food pantry will benefit through that. I think one of the things that's really important, as well as the work that Jonathan did, is his making the community more aware. He had a number of people that were involved in this that he brought in to help with this, whether it was the drives at the schools or the people that helped you bring things here and there, but the word gets out. And I think the awareness in the community that we do have needs in our community, and there are so many ways that people can volunteer. And this is something I think that through Jonathan's work, other people will realize and understand that they can be a part of this. So it's well beyond a project that we see tonight here and that we will commend Jonathan for. And what he's done will really last a long way beyond his being here and being at the high school and being in town. But I think it reaches out to so many people beyond that. So we really, in the town of Farmington, thank you very, very much for your Eagle Scout project and your commitment to the town and the people here and what you've done. And you should be very proud of your achievement of the rank, attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. So with no further ado, I'll read the proclamation. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America help train the youth of our community with skills which serve them well in the future, and whereas many of our youth participate in activities of the Boy Scouts of America which benefit our community, and whereas one of the crowning achievements of Boy Scouting is the attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout, and whereas Jonathan Olszewski from Troop 170, Boy Scouts of America, recently completed the requirements for Eagle Scout. And whereas Jonathan Olszewski planned and executed a very successful campaign to obtain donations of food and cash for the Farmington Food Pantry. And whereas Jonathan Olszewski developed a local media campaign, engaged student support at Farmington High School, and mobilized fellow scouts to conduct 5 collection events, raising 3,817 pounds of food and $1,503.80 in funds. And whereas Jonathan Olszewski has demonstrated superb leadership skills by serving his troop as Venture Crew President 2014 to 2015, Assistant Patrol Leader 2015 to 16, and Senior Patrol Leader 2016 to 17, and was the recipient of the Alexander P. Franklin Leadership Award and the Arrow of Light Award. And whereas Jonathan Olszewski serves as Farmington High School's Latin Club President, received the Connecticut Council of Language Teachers Award for Excellence, and was inducted into the Latin National Honor Society. And whereas as a result of Jonathan Olszewski's work, the lives of the people of Farmington will be enriched and enhanced. Now therefore be it resolved that on behalf of the Farmington Town Council, we hereby extend to Jonathan Olszewski our best wishes, and we hereby proclaim May 6, 2018 as Jonathan Olszewski Day in Farmington, Connecticut. Dated at Farmington, Connecticut, the 2nd day of April, 2018. Nancy W. Nickerson, Chair of the Farmington Town Council.
Thank you very much.
And we have another proclamation for you.
You're done.
Go ahead, Mike. You can stay right here.
Thank you. I will be brief. I thank you. I would just like to echo the words of the Town Council Chair. We are so fortunate to have young men like John in our community doing great work. So nothing more needs to be said. But I will say a couple things because it's written down for me. So this is a citation from the General Assembly, which I'll take a minute to read if I could. State of Connecticut General Assembly official citation introduced by Representative Mike D'Amico, Representative Derek Slapp, Senator Beth Bai, and Senator Terry Geritana. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to John Olszewski in recognition of your elevation to the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest achievement in scouting. You can be proud of your accomplishments and the good work that you have done for your community. The personal qualities that have enabled you to meet this goal will serve you well in your future endeavors. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success. Given on this 2nd day of April 2018 at the State Capitol in Hartford by Martin Looney, President Pro Tem of the State Senate, Joe Arasimowicz, Speaker of the House of Representatives, and Denise Merrill, Secretary of the State of Connecticut. John, I congratulate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Notice is hereby given that the town of Farmington will conduct a public hearing by the town council on Monday, April 2nd, 2018 at 7 p.m. at Town Hall, 1 Monteith Drive, Farmington, Connecticut, 06032, to discuss the fiscal year 2018 Community Development Block Grant Program and to solicit citizen input. Maximum award limit, $700,000 for public facilities, $700,000 for public housing modernization of 25 units or less, or $800,000 for 26 units and over, $500,000 for infrastructure, $400,000 for housing rehabilitation program for single towns, $500,000 for 2-town consortium, and $600,000 for 3 or more towns. $25,000 for planning only grants, $500,000 for economic development activities, and $500,000 for urgent need. Major activity categories are acquisition, housing rehabilitation, public housing modernization, community facilities, public services and economic development projects funded with CDBG allocations must carry out at least one of 3 national objectives: benefit to low and moderate income persons, elimination of slums and blight, or meeting urgent community development needs. The purpose of the public hearing is to obtain citizens' views on the town's community development and housing needs, and review and discuss specific project activities in the areas of housing, economic development, or community facilities which could be part of the town's application for funding for the year 2018. Also, public hearing will be given to citizens on opportunity to make their comments known on the program and for approval of program income reuse plan. If you are unable to attend the public hearing, you may direct written comments to the Town of Farmington, Town Manager's Office, 1 Monteith Drive, Farmington, Connecticut, 06032, or you may telephone 860-675-2350. In addition, information may be obtained at the above address between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. on Monday through Friday. The Community Development Housing Department, on behalf of the Town of Farmington, anticipates applying for the maximum grant amount of $800,000 under the Public Housing Modernization category for 26 units or over. In addition, the town will create a revolving loan fund with program income, principal, and interest generated from the grant, if any, for a public housing modernization program. The Town of Farmington promotes fair housing and makes all programs available to low and moderate income families regardless of race, creed, color, national origin, ancestry, sex, gender identity or expression, marital status, age, lawful source of income, familial status, learning disability, or physical mental disability, or sexual orientation. If you are unable to attend the public hearing, you may direct written comments to the Town of Farmington, 1 Monteith Drive, Farmington, Connecticut, 06032, or you may telephone Kathleen Egan at 860-675-2350. In addition, information may be obtained at the above address between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The hearing will also review and discuss the town's prior small cities projects, including any current open or underway. All are encouraged to attend. The hearing is accessible to the handicapped. Any disabled persons requiring special assistance or non-English speaking persons should contact Kathleen Egan, ADA Coordinator, at 860-675-2350, at least 5 days prior to the hearing. Equal opportunity affirmative action.
We have Nancy Parent, who will be advanced on our public hearing, giving some information. And do we have Carol? Carol from New Horizons?
Yeah.
Great. Welcome.
And I promise I'll be very brief, but I just have to read something just into the thing. So the subject of the public hearing is the Town of Farmington's application to the State Department of Housing for a 2018 Small Cities Grant for $800,000 to modernize 68 units at New Horizons Village. This public hearing's purpose is threefold. One is to discuss the program incomes reuse plan. 2, to report the status of any previous active Small Cities grants. 3, to receive comments on the 2018 Small Cities application. And 4, to discuss questions of the process, qualifications, and requirement as applicable. With regard to the 4 purposes stated above, please note, 1 is that no program income is intended to be earned as a result of this grant. 2, there are no previous open Small Cities grant this year, and I'll actually have Carol explain a little bit more, but the town intends to apply for $800,000 in small cities to make pedestrian, sidewalk, and parking area and housing units improvements to New Horizons. And the 4th is this application process includes submitting an application in April. The town generally hears the results of this in July. So I'll give you a moment just to explain what the grant.
Sure. Good evening. I'm Carol Fitzgerald, the Executive Director at New Horizons Village. I hope you're all familiar with us. We're not too far from here. We are looking to receive funding to do a rehabilitation of our 26-acre facility. We currently house 101 physically disabled residents. Our facility opened in 1986, and as you can imagine, our infrastructure is in need of updating. And we're talking about exterior updates with regards to this grant, siding, porches, windows, doors. In 1986, the ADA requirements were somewhat shy of what they are today. So we need to make a lot of updates, energy efficiencies, etc. So we appreciate the town of Farmington's support in this effort and hope that we can move forward. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
At this time, I'd ask if there were any questions from the public, any comments from the public about this grant, for this public hearing. Hearing none, thank you very much for the
Thank you.
presentation. And the hearing is closed. Now we have the second public hearing. We now have the second public hearing tonight.
A public hearing will be held on Monday, April 2nd at 7:05 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers on the Town Council's proposed budget for the fiscal year 2018-19. Dated Farmington, Connecticut, this 19th day of March 2018. Captain A. Egan, Town Manager.
I tried to mute it so it wasn't sitting in the background monitor.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to present the Farmington Town Council budget for the 2018-19 fiscal year. Our budget deliberations and decisions are based on our strategic plan and the goal of maintaining excellent services while being fiscally responsible. The budget we are presenting to you tonight has a property tax rate of 27.18 mils, which is an increase of 0.51 mils. The average homeowner with a house assessed at $226,777 will see a decrease of $26.66. In this reevaluation year, it is important to note that the tax impact on a property depends on how much a property has either increased or decreased in value. A tax impact calculator has been added to the Town of Farmington webpage for residents to determine their tax impact with a proposed tax rate. I'm pleased to report that we continue to have a AAA Moody's rating. This is a result of a stable governing body, financial management stability, a strong tax base, funding our reserve account appropriately, and a commitment to funding our pension in a responsible manner. This allows our town to have a better bonding interest rate when borrowing. As of November 2017, only 17 towns out of the 169 in Connecticut had a AAA bonding Moody's rating. We are strong economically with a healthy tax base. Our residential is 68% with a commercial tax ratio of 32%. The 2017 reevaluation process and the resulting grand list saw a pronounced shift in value from residential property to commercial industrial property. The consistent growth in our grand list over the past 5 years evidences the economic strength in our town. Over the past year, we welcomed 19 new businesses. These businesses range from retail stores and fitness wellness companies to restaurants and farm stands. Existing businesses in Farmington continue to grow. 11 businesses, both small businesses and large corporations, expanded over the past year. Unionville Family Restaurant and Carol's Lunchbox joined a budding restaurant scene, and the Farmington Avenue Medical Corridor is thriving. Businesses continue to grow and thrive in Farmington, proving that it is a desirable community in which to live and work. We have excellent town services and an exceptional school system. We are extremely proud of the services we offer our residents, from curbside leaf pickup, bulk pickup, to the nationally acclaimed school district. The town of Farmington wholeheartedly believes that volunteers are the true fabric of our community. We continually seek ways to recognize the time, effort, and talent that many volunteers donate to our community. From member-elected and appointed boards and commissions to the volunteer fire department, this town cares for its community with its strong volunteer base. Farmington's volunteers make this a wonderful community in which to live, work, and play. Thank you to all who contribute to our town through your volunteerism. The Town Council uses three main goals to guide us in the budget process. We believe we have a responsibility to taxpayers to bring a fiscally responsible budget forward and at the same time provide core services for the citizens. We are proud of our schools. Our students are well prepared for various future endeavors with a Farmington education. This is one of the reasons that families make Farmington their home. We will continue to provide excellence in education. We must recognize the cost of maintaining the town's infrastructure through capital budget. During budget discussions last month, the Town Council discussed capital improvement projects at length. We believe that the cost of not maintaining the town's property, buildings, and equipment will have a significant negative long-term impact. Another necessary expense is investing in this infrastructure. That is why the Town Council has made a deliberate effort to increase capital project funding in order to meet the needs of the town and the school system. The proposed budget has a total capital funding plan of $7,221,220. This budget is comprised of a general fund appropriation of $2,519,000, which is a 5% increase over last year, plus a reapportionment of $122,220 in surplus project balances to new projects. This proposed capital improvement plan continues to fund townwide infrastructure improvements that include both technology upgrades and the replacement of necessary equipment for town departments to ensure that high-quality services are offered to residents and to businesses. There are also three bonding questions that will appear on the referendum ballot this year. First, for the fire department, $650,000 to replace engine 2. This engine is a 1991 engine, 27 years old. This apparatus is out of the Tunxus hose station, and it is well over the recommended age expectancy. Generally, about 20 years is when we would replace a truck like this. Now, one of the bonding questions for the Board of Education is $1,935,000 for security and mechanical upgrades. This includes security vestibules for Irving Robbins, Westwood Upper Elementary School, Union School, and East Farm School. Other office renovations and security vestibules are in Wallace and West District. And when you know, and you've all heard about the recent things happening with the security and throughout the nation, in schools and otherwise, we feel this is really an important piece to with the bonding this year for the schools, to make sure that we have the safety that we need in place in the schools. We also have infrastructure improvements, including West District heating loop, the Westwoods Upper Elementary School chiller, Union School wiring design and installation, Union School limestone design and installation, mechanical control updates at Westwoods, Union School, and East Farm School. We also have another roof replacement bond for $1,995,000. This includes a partial roof for Irving Robbins, Union School's roof, and the partial roof for Farmington High School, which you've heard different things about the roofs, and we feel this is another very important bond item to move forward. As you're well aware, the town of Farmington underwent a revaluation process. Residential property now makes up 68% of the grand list, previously 73%, and the commercial property now makes up 32%, previously 27%. Both real estate and personal property increased in value. This increase demonstrates the solid business environment in Farmington. Businesses continue to invest and reinvest in our town. The recommended 2018-19 budget continues the town's commitment to providing and funding exceptional services to our residents and our businesses. The proposed budget increases total expenditure by $3,544,427, or a 3.45% increase. The proposed budget was developed to maintain high service levels for both the town and the Board of Education, and to ensure that our capital improvement needs are met. Farmington is a great town in which to live, work, and play. We remain well positioned in terms of economic development, exceptional education, and providing high-level services without substantially increasing taxes. The Town Council, following the guidelines in the strategic plan, strives to produce a well-balanced budget in order to maintain excellent services and meet the needs of the community. I'll now call on Kathy Egan, our town manager, to present the budget in detail. And next you'll have Kathy Greeter and our superintendent of schools and Chris Fagan, the Board of Education chair, that will also discuss the budget. Thank you.
Good evening. Members of the public, I present for your review the Town Council's proposed budget for fiscal year 2018-2019. This proposed budget has already gone through several iterations. For the municipal budget, it began at the departmental level with requests coming to the town manager in January. To meet the budget target range of 2.25% to 2.75% increase set forth by the Town Council, I decreased $593,011 from the budget that was requested by my departments. This decrease reduced the overall budget increase from 4.5% to 2.47%. During budget deliberations last month, no further changes were made to the Board of Education budget or to the town budget. The Town Council did make significant changes to the capital plan in a deliberate effort to fund additional capital projects townwide. The town strategic plan and the town's capital improvement policy were the policy guidelines at the forefront when formulating this budget. The general fund budget includes the proposed spending for the town, for the school system, for debt service, and for capital improvements. The proposed budget for Westwood's Golf Course and the Recreation Fund and the solid waste collection and disposal are also included for your review. The total proposed budget for fiscal year 18-19 is $106,291,562, an increase of $3,544,427, or 3.45% above the current budget. The proposed budget is $29,573,654, which is a 2.47% above the current expenditure, an increase of $712,860. This budget maintains the high service levels our residents expect. Highlights of the town operation by category include the following. General administration has a 6.4% increase. Public safety has a 0.56% increase. Public works has a 2.36% decrease. Community and recreation has a 1.65% decrease, and other has a 5.47% increase, for a total of 2.47%. The summary of some of the expenditures include the contribution to the library is $2,539,535, which is a 2.4% increase above current budget levels. A new position is proposed in this budget. An informational technology support specialist will, will assist the IT manager in the support and maintenance of the town's technology program. The fire hydrant fees are projected to increase $33,094, or 3.6% for the upcoming fiscal year. Restructuring in the police department has resulted in the elimination of the record supervisor position. A lieutenant's position has been added to the special projects and community policing unit. There is a net dollar savings to the department with this restructuring. This restructuring will also allow for more focus on emergency management and school and town safety matters. The Highway and Grounds operation account shows funding for 4 seasonal summer employees, which will be used to supplement regular staff. The Highway and Grounds traffic control account shows a decrease in electricity line due to the conversion of streetlights to LED lamps. The purchase of streetlights and relamping program will lead to an anticipated savings next fiscal year. The pension contribution has been increased as a result of an increase in accrued liability for non-active participants. Board of Education non-certified staff, and required contributions to the defined contribution plan. The health insurance account contains a 7% increase. Although actual claims paid is projected to increase by only 2.9% next year, the cost for stop-loss insurance coverage is projected to increase by 44.8% due to high losses over the past 3 years. I've also separated the budget by object, which includes salaries, benefits, supplies, equipment, contractual, and utilities. The increases for each object are as follows. For salaries, it's a 1.8% increase. In benefits, it's a 5.4% increase. Supplies is a 1.55% decrease. Equipment is an 8.42% increase. Contractual is a 1.93% increase, and utilities is a 1.75% decrease, for a total of 2.47%. In summary, the town council's proposed budget is $29,573,654, which is an increase of $712,860, or 2.47% above the current expenditure. Debt service. The debt group of accounts includes appropriations to make principal and interest payments on the town's long-term bonded debt. The total recommended amount for next fiscal year is $8,399,011. This is an increase of $1,083,311, or 14.81% from the previous year. This increase in debt service is a result of the requirement by the State Clean Water Fund program, and that the town permanently financed $34 million of expenses for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade project this year. Special services. The refuse collection budget includes the cost of collecting and disposing of solid and bulky waste generated by town residents and the town's landfill operation. This budget proposes no rate increase. The annual fee will remain at $235 per household. The general fund capital projects. The proposed general fund appropriation to support the capital improvements is $2,519,000, plus a reappropriation of $122,220 in surplus project balances to new projects. Shown here is a list of the proposed capital projects funded by the general fund. Shown here is a list of proposed capital projects funded by reappropriation of surplus project balances. The first year of the capital plan proposes 3 bond questions. The first, engine 2 replacement of $650,000. This is to replace a 1991 27-year-old pumper truck. Number 2 is school security and infrastructure improvements at $1,935,000. And number 3 is school roof projects at $1,995,000, for a total of $4,580,000 in proposed bonding. The Board of Education account includes a proposed appropriation of $65,799,897, an increase of 2.54% above the current year's budget. Details of the Board of Education budget are included in the budget document provided by the Board of Education. I will now call on Chris Fagan and Kathy Greeter, who will discuss the Board of Education budget and the 2 school-related bond questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I'd like to thank Chairwoman Nancy Nickerson and all fellow town council members for the opportunity to come before you tonight and present the proposed budget for the Farmington Board of Education for the 2018-2019 fiscal year. I'd just like to make some introductory comments and then introduce our superintendent. We'll go over the budget in greater detail. And on behalf of the Farmington Board of Education, I'd like to thank the council and their dedicated and collaborative efforts in working with the board and our superintendent Kathy in finalizing this proposed budget for approval. As always, I'd just like to take a moment and thank everyone for their efforts this budget season. Obviously, there are many individuals that are responsible on our end to bring forward the budget from the board in consideration, and this begins with our superintendent Kathy Greeter and her team of administrators, including Assistant Superintendent Kim Wynn, that build this budget, and the teachers that build this budget from the ground up. I believe as we proceeded through this process, he also saw firsthand and appreciated the depth of talent, knowledge, and commitment our administration has in building the budget and continue our legacy of educational excellence here in Farmington. While there are too many people to thank individually, I'd like to thank and specifically mention our business manager, Vince Lapatan, Director of Facilities, Tim Harris, who is not here, and Director of Technology, Matt Ross, for all their efforts in helping with the budget process. I think when the board sat before the council to answer your questions during the budget season, you saw firsthand the value added by all these individuals, not only during the budget process, but on a daily basis throughout the district. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my fellow board members for their collaboration, insight, and commitment, not only during the budget season, but also each and every day in providing sound leadership and support to the schools and our community of parents, families, and students. As an innovative learning organization, the mission and vision of the Farmington School District is deeply committed to a pathway of continuous improvement. Our teaching and learning process is based on the collaborative interactions among students, educators, parents, and families, and emphasizes the importance of clear expectations, rigorous standards-led curriculum, inspired instruction, personal effort, and engaged relationships leading to high levels of achievement for all learners. Excuse me. We collectively as a board and administration are ultimately guided in our efforts by the fundamental principle we call the vision of the graduate, whereby Farmington graduates will acquire an understanding of the essential knowledge and skills in the core academic disciplines and develop the thinking and learning skills needed to meet the challenges of local, national, and global citizenship in a rapidly changing world. These learning skills are critical thinking and reasoning, communication and collaboration, problem solving and innovation, self-direction, and resourcefulness. And as been presented to you previously and will again be presented in greater detail this evening, the Board of Education proposed budget represents an increase of only 2.54%, or approximately $1.6 million, to bring the total proposed budget to $65,799,897 for the 2018-2019 fiscal year. And I hope that together, all the members of the community can reasonably agree that this is a fiscally responsible budget. The austerity underlining the proposed budget is most certainly reflected in the fact that of the proposed 2.54% increase, almost 90% of that increase, or 2.21%, is directly related to contractually obligated salaries and benefits. As such, approximately $200,000 of the recommended total budget of almost $66 million is directed and related to extending and building upon the value proposition of the educational experience in Farmington. I know Mike is in the audience today, and we've received his calming assurances when we met before, but these are uncertain times in which we're operating as a board in the community with regard to related ongoing source funding at the state level and the impact those changes may have on the communities and families here in Farmington. It's against that backdrop we undertook this budget process, knowing it would be difficult to make any provision for substantial increases in expenditures on education. And you can rest assured that there were certainly items that both teachers and administrators would have wanted that never found their way into this budget. It's my sincere hope that while we went through this process, you appreciated that Farmington continues to lead the way in terms of achieving unparalleled academic excellence both locally and nationally. Our budget allows us to maintain core programming aligned across all grade levels to our strategic priorities, and our budget and collective and collaborative leadership provide exceptional management of taxpayer dollars through highly effective cost containment measures and the effective allocation of available resources. We are also abundantly aware of the challenges facing our aging facilities, so the budget also includes the two separate capital bonding projects that have been addressed to address our much needed and urgent core infrastructure needs. These are designed to, as noted, facilitate increased security vestibules at the entrance of our schools, reallocate offices at No Walls in West District to the entrance of the schools, address critical structural improvements, and address roofing projects at Irving Robbins, Union, and Farmington High School. As noted, these capital bonding projects represent an additional $3.93 million. These infrastructure needs are being addressed in connection with a long-term plan now in place through the completion of facility reports for all of our schools. This plan is reflected in a Farmington High School facility assessment, the creation of an ad hoc facilities committee consisting of community members, board members, administration members, and town council members, the creation of a statement of need for the high school, which was approved by both the Board of Education and Town Council, review and consideration of third-party assessments of our facilities from NEASC and the Office of Civil Rights, and the creation of the Farmington High School Building Committee resulting referendum on a new high school. So we feel now as a board that we're well positioned to have a consistent and dedicated approach to improve some of our most important educational community assets in the years to come. Because the time has come, as I said in my comments during this process, to honor our commitment to the families and students to provide superior learning facilities for all our students. So I'd like to thank you again for allowing us to present to you this budget, proposed budget, and thank you for your time and effort as we continue to move through this process together. I'll now introduce our superintendent, Kathy Greeter, who will walk through the budget with you in greater detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening. I'm pleased to present the Board of Education's 2018-19 school year budget. The school district's budget was developed to address the Board of Education's mission and philosophy, 5-year goals, vision of the graduate, and priorities within the budget guidelines, policies of the board, and state and federal requirements. It is important to note that throughout the budget development process, zero-based budgeting was implemented. Farmington's vision of the graduate outlines the core body of knowledge and the thinking and learning skills all Farmington students are required to master upon graduation. Improvement efforts in Farmington are aligned to our vision of the graduate, which place Farmington at the forefront of innovation in teaching, learning, student outcomes, and students as leaders of their own learning at the local, state, and national levels. On this slide, you can see examples of our students actively engaged in learning experiences that are highly authentic and student-centered. This is the type of learning that students are exposed to each day in Farmington. Farmington's compelling mission is outlined on this slide. Our mission was designed to directly align to our goals and our vision, as well as our framework for teaching and learning and our core beliefs, creating a strong improvement design and a through line from our mission and goals to all classrooms, all students, and all schools. This is our theory of action for school and district improvement. Our financial plan, this budget, aligns to and supports our strategic improvement design. Our updated theory of action provides a clear and forward-thinking direction for improvement work aligned to our vision of the graduate. Purpose-driven learning is designed to foster student intellectual curiosity and meaningful work that has purpose and significance to the learner, so students develop an ethic of excellence and experience the joy of contributing to a greater good. Socially constructed learning creates an environment that values diverse perspectives, where students, local and global experts, mentors, and peers are engaged in the context of inquiry, discovery, and exploration. Mastery-based learning ensures curriculum and assessment are organized around essential learning targets, varied ways of demonstrating mastery, and flexible pacing. It elevates student agency and ownership so that students are not passive participants in their learning, but active, highly engaged learners. And self-directed learning promotes academic risk-taking, reflection, persistence, and resilience to increase independence and inspire students to direct their own personal and collective learning. The vision of our vision of the graduate is the center of our theory of action, and the 2018-19 budget supports all elements of our strategic improvement design. The Board of Education budget reflects a total budget amount of $65,799,897 with an increase of $1,627,256, or a 2.54% increase over the 2017-18 school district budget. The Board of Education budget maintains core programming K-12 aligned to Farmington's improvement design and strategic priorities through academic excellence and equity in innovative programming K-12, supports for students' social emotional development, cost containment given uncertain grant and state level funding, an increased focus on facility and infrastructure improvements aligned to our 2018 K-8 facility assessment after years of thoughtful strategic planning, continued focus on technology integrated teaching and learning, excellence in curriculum development, comprehensive research-based and highly effective staff and faculty development, and lastly, class size levels in accordance with Board of Ed policy. We have much to be proud of in Farmington. We continue to be highlighted at regional, state, and national levels for excellence in teaching and learning and student outcomes. I will highlight just a few accomplishments on this slide. We have an exemplary science program ranking #1 in the state on 5th grade science CMT. In fact, a team from IAR recently won the Connecticut Science Bowl and will soon be traveling to Washington, D.C. to compete at the national level. In addition, FHS was recently named a Project Lead the Way Distinguished School, one of only 2 schools to receive this honor in Connecticut this year. Farmington sophomores outperformed the national cohort of seniors on an international college work readiness assessment. This assessment aligns to our vision of the graduate, and our students' impressive outcomes are a reflection of the board's and the community's commitment to all students acquiring a core body of knowledge and the thinking and learning skills most valued in college, work, and life. National and state level rankings place FHS as one of the top high schools in Connecticut. We have strong partnerships with local organizations and businesses that promote internships, job shadowing, and unique learning experiences aligned to purpose-driven learning. Although not on this slide, results from Connecticut's accountability system places Farmington within the top 10 school districts in Connecticut in overall achievement, as well as growth rates in achievement. These are just a few notable highlights. Please refer to our annual results and outcomes booklet on our website for more detailed accomplishments. Through the community's investment in our schools, we continue to lead the way in education. Here are examples of our favorable state rankings when it comes to expenditures. There is a relationship between the accomplishment slide I just went over and this ranking slide. Excellence in education and fiscal responsibility and management. The rankings are based on Connecticut's 169 towns, with 1 spending the most and 169 spending the least. 1/30th in purchase services. This ranking reflects the excellent work of our business office through regional purchasing that has led to cost-effective purchasing. 159th in general administration and 155th in school-based administration. Farmington administrators on average supervise, develop, and evaluate more teachers than similar districts. This is truly impressive when we look at the state's teacher evaluation guidelines and requirements, increased legislative demands, and our own internal expectations of our teachers and administrators. 1/30th in special education, we continue to provide exemplary programming and special services in a fiscally responsible manner. 1/17th in employee benefits, Farmington continues to partner with employees on our healthcare design that provides quality healthcare benefits that engage employees as consumers. In turn, we have excellent trending in claims. 1/41st in total transportation and 1/25th in plant services. Our custodians do an outstanding job with our aging facilities. Given our extraordinary outcomes coupled with our favorable expenditure rankings, here are just some specific examples of how we focus each day on cost containment and avoidance while providing a quality education for Farmington students. Here are some additional examples of cost containment measures. Each reflect a focus on fiscal responsibility, long-term planning, and partnership. This slide provides examples of reductions that have occurred during the budget development process to arrive at the recommended budget level for 2018-19. Please note the reductions to this budget that have already occurred total close to $500,000. And they include reductions from school and program budget submissions after careful analysis, cost efficiencies and containment, favorable budget trends, and recently negotiated contract savings. The first driver of the budget is salaries. As you can see, this accounts for 67.66% of the total budget and reflects collaborative negotiations between various associations and the Board of Education. Each of the associations' negotiated salary increases are listed here, with the exception of our non-certified group, as we will engage in negotiations in the spring. The salary series reflects a 2.36% increase over this year's budget. The second major budget driver is employee benefits. This account provides for 100% of expected paid claims and the administration of employee health insurance. We are proud to continue to experience employee cost of healthcare services below industry average, which is currently running between 10 to 12%. Farmington's preventative care measures show best-in-class rates across almost all items. You can see the life and long-term disability costs on this slide as well. The employee benefits series accounts for 14.85% of our total budget. There is a 4.03% increase in this account. This slide provides an overview of our best practices approach to self-insurance management with a focus on partnership between the Board of Education and Town Council. We have included some examples of how we provide excellent healthcare benefits to our employees with a focus on cost containment. The services series includes varied items. The series accounts for 13.71% of the total budget. It reflects a 2.39% increase. The increase in this series is across several objects. Two examples of increases in the services series would be transportation, because we have new bus runs, as well as facility improvements in the major facility projects area of the budget. This is a result of our K-8 facility assessment that was completed and presented to the Board of Education and Community in January 2018. Here are some examples of cost avoidance and containment within the 300 series. All of these examples are a reflection of the hard work of our faculty, staff, administration, and the Board of Education, as well as our partnership with the Town of Farmington. Facilities and infrastructure. The 300 series includes major facility projects within the operating budget. First, I will highlight the need to address significant and critical facility issues with our FHS facility. We have included the FHS statement of need in the board's capital budget sent to the Town of Farmington and in our budget book, as this is an urgent facility need in Farmington. In this year alone, for example, we have faced approximately 12 unanticipated roof leaks and a boiler issue with unanticipated repair costs reaching over $100,000. We look forward to the May 15th joint meeting of the Town Council and the Board of Education to discuss comprehensive needs of the FHS facility outlined in our statement of need. In addition, the Board of Education conducted a comprehensive K-8 2018 facility assessment after years of careful and thoughtful planning. This provides short and long-term facility recommendations for our 6 other school facilities. The information in each of the K-8 facility assessment reports inform both our annual capital improvement budget and operating budget, including bonding questions. We have included a handout this evening that outlines details on the 2 school bonding questions, which include school security and infrastructure for $1,935,000 and school roof projects for $1,995,000. I will review the 2 bonding questions in more detail at the end of this 2018-19 operating budget presentation. In Farmington, our mission, vision, and goals have been and continue to be clear, compelling, and reflect a tradition of leading the way in education. Now we have a clear and comprehensive plan to improve and align our facilities to our mission, vision, and goals so that we will lead the way in facilities and infrastructure. The supply series reflects a 0.82% increase and accounts for 2.85% of the total budget. This account provides for facilities used in swimming and ice hockey competitions and for the purchase of a wide range of items such as instructional, health, custodial, computer, and testing supplies. The next slide reflects the budget level for the equipment series, which accounts for 0.59% of the total budget. This series reflects equipment requests. There is a 6.69% increase for equipment. We have successfully built a technology infrastructure and capacity over several years, and we are now moving to replacing and repurposing Chromebooks. This slide shows the progression over several years, including the upcoming school year, of increasing technology access for all students to support student-centered teaching and learning, aligned to the priorities outlined in our theory of action, and aligned to our vision, mission, core beliefs, and our framework for teaching and learning. We should be very proud of the collective strategic planning in the area of technology and successful implementation of our technology plan. Here are several examples of how the school district has focused on strategic cost allocation and excellence in programming in the equipment series. The dues and fees series is the last series. It reflects a 0.35% of the total budget with a negative 10.78% decrease. This includes memberships to organizations and liability and property insurance. The decrease in this series is attributed to the Town of Farmington's negotiated savings in liability, umbrella, and motor vehicle insurance. This slide is an overview of the major budget drivers that reflect a 2.54 increase over the 2017-18 school district budget, all of which I reviewed within this presentation. The 2018-2019 budget supports all students to achieve academic and personal excellence, exhibit persistent effort, and live as resourceful, inquiring, and contributing global citizens. Farmington is leading the way in excellence in teaching and learning as well as student outcomes. We have taken a long-term, strategic, and highly effective approach to cost containment, avoidance, and savings so that our resources are aligned directly to our mission, core beliefs, priorities, vision, and our theory of action, our promises at the student level. We provide a student-centered, nurturing learning environment that is purpose-driven, self-directed, and mastery-based with a commitment to socially constructed learning. Our student, faculty, school, and district accomplishments, continuous improvement efforts, rigorous curriculum, and high-quality programming have contributed to a nationally recognized education here in Farmington. In this operating budget, as well as in our capital budget and school bonding questions, we have prioritized facility improvements. In turn, this budget addresses critical facility recommendations within the K-8 facility assessment reports. As cited in our K-8 facility executive summary overview, while the facilities and maintenance staff have done an outstanding job preserving and maintaining the buildings under their care, budget constraints have resulted in deferred maintenance and postponement of necessary but cost-prohibitive improvements. We are facing critical needs in our school facilities that house approximately 4,000 students, as well as our faculty and staff each day, which require a significant long-term investment in both our operating and capital improvement budgets. The recommended 2018-19 budget is responsive to our community and to our students, the next generation of pioneers, scholars, contributors, and citizens. They will one day lead the way, and each of us will take pride in knowing that we all contributed to their individual and collective success by providing a world-class education at Farmington. This concludes our operating budget presentation for the 2018-19 school year. I will now review the facility bonding questions. Please refer to your handout on the bonding questions as we review both questions. The first school bonding question is as follows. Shall the town of Farmington appropriate $1,935,000 for various school facility security and infrastructure improvements and authorize the issuance of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation? All of the projects in the bonding question were recommendations in our K-8 facility assessment and will accelerate the implementation of critical facility assessment recommendations. Connecticut School Safety Infrastructure Council standards recommend security vestibules at the entrance of schools to enhance visitor security. The purpose of security vestibule is to provide a secure environment for visitor vetting prior to admittance into the school. The cost of the security vestibules at IAR, Westwood's Upper Elementary, Union, and East Farms is $375,000. In addition, Connecticut School Safety Infrastructure Council standards recommend offices to be located at the entrance of each school facility with security vestibules for increased security. The cost of Noah Wallace's office move and security vestibule is $204,000, and the cost of West District's office move and security vestibule is $450,000. Lastly, in this bonding question, there are several school facility infrastructure improvements that are of critical and urgent need in the first school bonding question for security and infrastructure. West District's heating loop to replace aging heating pipes currently located under the building slab are in urgent need of replacement with a new overhead heating supply line for $64,000. The Westwood's Upper Elementary chiller to replace the existing whole building chiller that is currently at the end of its life expectancy and functioning at partial capacity for $220,000. Union's wiring design and installation to be upgraded to a 3-phase power with surge protection due to insufficient current and maxed circuit capacity for $141,500. Union's limestone design and installation to be repaired and replaced due to significant crumbling in the limestone around the perimeter of the school for $365,000. Mechanical control updates at Westwoods, Union, and East Farms to include motorized boiler control valves, steam traps, and zone valves, and retrofitting digital control valves for $115,500. The total for school bonding question on security and infrastructure is $1,935,000. The second school bonding question is for school roofs. Shall the town of Farmington appropriate $1,995,000 for various school roof replacement projects and authorize the issuance of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation? There are 3 roof projects in the bonding question. IAR's partial roof to be replaced. IAR's partial roof areas were last replaced in 1982 and 1995. This will complete the roof replacement phases at IAR for $1,050,000. Union's roof to be completely replaced. Union's roof was last replaced in 1998 and will be coupled with a limestone repair and replacement project for $736,000. A partial FHS roof, and this partial cost is in here, to be replaced. The FHS partial roof areas in this bonding question were last replaced in 1992. This is a partial roof that is in urgent need of replacement for $209,000. The total bonding amount for school roofs is $1,995,000. Again, these 2 bonding questions include projects within our facility assessment reports and our roof reports. These are critical needs for the school district in the areas of security, infrastructure, and roofing. Thank you.
I will now review the grand list. The grand list is broken down into 3 categories: real estate, personal property, and motor vehicles. The real estate account shows a 1.7% increase. The personal property account shows a 3.07% increase, and the motor vehicle account shows a 0.29% decrease. In summary, the grand list increased by 1.65%, or $59,416,893, for a total grand list of $3,655,376,464. The growth in the value of the real estate is due primarily to the revaluation of all real property throughout the town. Growth in this area is indicative of a stable economy in Farmington. The 2017 revaluation process and the resulting grand list saw a pronounced shift in the value from residential property to commercial industrial property. There has been a decrease in residential property values and an increase in commercial industrial property values. The ratio of residential property to commercial industrial property as a percentage of the total net taxable grand list is now residential 68%, commercial industrial 32%. Revenue, grants, charges, and other. I've broken down the revenue into 8 categories: other property taxes, licenses and permits, fines and penalties, interest, grants, service charges, other, Westwoods Golf Course. In summary, projected non-tax revenues are $8,026,415, or a 1.58% increase over the current year. Proposed tax and mill rate. The proposed general fund budget will require a property tax rate of 27.18 mills, an increase of 0.51 mills. The average residential assessment will see a decrease of $26.66, or a 0.43% tax decrease. In other words, $100,000 of assessed value equals $2,718 in taxes. It is important to note that the tax impact on a property will depend on how much a property either increased or decreased. The magnitude of the property value change will determine its taxes. In this revaluation year, the tax impact is truly on a case-by-case basis. A tax calculator has been added to the Town of Farmington's webpage for those who want to see what their individual tax impact will be with the proposed tax rate. A The upcoming budget schedule, a few days to note, the annual town meeting is on April 16th, 2018 at 7 p.m. at the Farmington High School Auditorium, and the referendum vote is Thursday, April 26th, 2018 at your regular polling places. Thank you.
At this time, I would ask anyone who would like to comment on this budget to come up to the podium. You have 5 minutes, and give your name and address, please.
Dear Town Council members, my name is Ines St. James, and I live at 11 Brightwood Road in Unionville. I am a longtime resident of our town, mother of a freshman in high school, and a current president of FHS Friends of Music, which is a 30-plus-year-old parent organization dedicated to promoting the welfare, interests, and activities of the music department. I reviewed the proposed budget, and I'm heartened to see that many needed infrastructure items have been included. I'm extremely concerned, however, that the budget proposal does not include addressing the status of the high school auditorium facility. As I'm sure that you're aware, the high school auditorium is in desperate need of attention, which was highlighted in the FHS Statement of Need. These concerns include broken and/or missing seats, ADA compliance issues such as lack of handicap accessible seating, exceedingly poor acoustics affecting teachers, students, and audience members, heating and cooling issues, insufficient facility space to meet the needs of our musical programs, in addition to the unsatisfactory NIASP audit findings. The overall state of the auditorium facility reflects poorly upon our town, our fine high school, and detracts from the overall aims of the programs. Despite these shortcomings, the dedication and professionalism of our artistic educators continue to help our students achieve merit-based recognition all over the country. And it is for our current and future student populations that I speak here to you today as a reminder that this facility must be acted upon. My hope for our town is to provide our students, teachers, and community with a safe and functional environment that meets the needs of everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Other public comment on the budget? Yes.
Hi, Joanne Lawson, 9 Prattling Pond Road. I have a question about the school projects. I wonder, is this it? Or are there other projects that you've put off for Westwoods and Noah Wallace? Because I don't really see them addressed. Do they need roofs or, I'm sorry, in here I see you talk about the roof at Irving Robbins, Union School, and the high school. Nothing about the roofs at West District or Noah Wallace. So I just wonder if there's going to be another $1 million next year.
They can either, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Vince. Hold on.
With Noah Wallace, there is a project for Noah Wallace roof. It is a little bit further out on the capital planning, but they're in the Fryer reports that were the K facility reports that were recently done, and also the Silktown roofing report that the facilities director has. All of our roofs were just looked at. So the Noah Wallace roof is not a part of this these current projects. It will come on though coming up. The West District roof was done not all that long ago. The West District roof still has many years of good service for us. So it's not in the foreseeable future going to be on a capital.
Good to hear. Thank you.
Yep. And the Noah Wallace roof is a section. It's actually a relatively small section of the of that roof system over at Noah Wallace School that will need to be done.
Thank you. Other questions? Or public comments? Okay, thank you very much. We'll close the public hearing. And now we'll move on to new items. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I would like to add agenda item L-10, appointments of alternate of the Town Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask for any public comments on any issue in the town. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Reading of the minutes, March 13th.
I move to approve the March 13th, 2018 regular Town Council meeting minutes.
Second.
Any corrections?
Madam Chair, I have two corrections to the March 13th meeting. First, item N9 should be added. We had a motion at the beginning to add item N9 to the minutes. N9 was the motion for the public hearing to discuss the fiscal year 2018 Community Development Block Grant Program hearing that we had tonight. And my recollection is that it was that Councilor Charette made the motion, Councilor Gennaro seconded it, and it was a unanimous motion to approve the hearing for tonight. The second correction I have is in item N3, which was a discussion of the Bloom Shapiro auditors. I asked that the discussion reflect that the town council directed town staff to request that Bloom Shapiro assign a new lead, I think the right word's associate, to conduct the physical review of the financial records. Those are my
Two corrections?
yes
Or additions?
additions.
Anything else? Okay, all those in favor of the March 13th with the addition, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, next.
I move to approve the March 14th, 2018 regular Town Council meeting budget minutes.
Second.
Questions or corrections? CJ? Anything? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I move to approve the March 15th, 2018 regular Town Council meeting budget minutes.
Second.
Any questions or corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I move to approve the March 17th, 2018 regular Town Council meeting budget minutes.
Second.
Any corrections or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. H.
You just have the correspondence from B. Stockwell in your packet.
Okay. Report of the committees, UConn, no report, land acquisition.
Land acquisition will be meeting this week. I'm sorry, my schedule's, but we'll be meeting this week. But as of right now, we're moving forward and evaluating.
Next week.
Next week. Is it next week? Thank you. Next week.
April. Okay, thank you. Green efforts.
Green Efforts Committee will be meeting this week. As a reminder, the cleanup day is scheduled for April 21st. That's also the hazardous waste disposal that the town is hosting. And as a reminder, as I mentioned last time, unfortunately there will not be paper shredding at this event because it's Earth Day weekend and there's a heavy demand. But Farmington Bank is hosting paper shredding events throughout the summer that Farmington residents can take advantage of.
Can I ask for on item 2, the report where you'll be meeting this week or next week?
Next week.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Would be helpful. Okay. Report of the council chair and liaisons. The chair report. I just wanted to say I appreciate the presentations tonight for the budget, and we will have the town meeting the town meeting on April 16th, and then the referendum vote on April 26th. And I'm hoping that we have a lot of people come out and join us. Board of Education.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
nothing much to report except that their next meeting is tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the high school in the library.
Chamber of Commerce. Economic Development.
Yes, on economic development, in regards to the Explore Farmington website, they've added a new search bar. Also to note that the weekly number of users they're seeing is 274 users, which is the most they've ever seen. And the majority of those users are actually new users, so it's actually drawing more people to the website. Another item, they've decided on Jason Giulietti, the VP of Business Development at CERC, to be the next speaker at the Business Breakfast Series. And that will be taking place on May 16th. And then one more item, a new program that they're developing. It's kind of the brainchild of Brian Conley. It's called the Small Business Express program. And this is a series to help small businesses in terms of leveraging resources and bettering themselves here in the community. And the first participant in, or the host in this series will be McSee Electric. And they're going to be talking about solar power and efficiency and how businesses can leverage that to improve their business and their profitability. And that's all I have for economic development.
Thank you. Farmington Historic District Commission.
Nothing to report.
Housing Authority.
Yes, their next meeting will be their annual meeting on April 11th at Maple Village at 6:15.
Okay, thank you. Human Relations.
They met last Wednesday, March 28th. The commission welcomed a new member, Lisa Powlick, and we talked about how the group has made great strides over the years in improving awareness and accessibility in town. I'm working with town officials, business owners, and residents, and they're looking to continue that work, but also look to do some other work in different areas, perhaps organizing one or more events or activities around the community's cultural and ethnic diversity, which was something that they would be revisiting from several years ago. And they have their next meeting, which is also their annual meeting, September 26th at New Horizons Village, 6:30 p.m.
Thank you. What was that date again, please?
The 26th of September.
Library Board.
Yeah, the library board, their monthly meeting was actually canceled due to a snowstorm. However, on March 25th, they had their 5th annual Maker Fair at the Farmington Library. So it's a big fair for children with lots of hands-on activities, such as the virtual reality, the studio, new addition to the library that we saw, soldering, knitting, makey, which is like an arts and crafts type of room, which is actually the most popular of all the activities that the kids choose. Claymation, robotics. There was a presentation on do-it-yourself creating a succulent planter. And there was also a presentation on turning your ideas into reality, almost like a business development of new ideas that the kids might come up with.
Thank you. TPC.
Yeah, not much to report there, although the last meeting they did talk about the Unionville Architectural Review Committee and discussing about maybe modifying the name of the Unionville Architectural Review Committee, but in order to do that they need to have a public hearing, and that will probably be posted in the near future, so if people have any comments to show up at the planning and zoning, but they're looking to try to make the Architectural Review Committee more inclusive, not segregating between Unionville and Farmington, just making it more an Architectural Review Committee for Farmington, Unionville, both communities, rather than calling out one town versus the other. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Unionville Village Improvement.
Nothing to report.
Water WPCA.
Nothing new to report. Next meeting is next week.
Okay, any other liaison reports?
Unionville Historic
Oh, I'm
District
sorry.
Commission. Yeah, no problem. So for Unionville Historic District Commission, they're looking at membership solicitation. So Shannon Rutherford's going to get the list of properties in the Unionville Historic District so that they can send out a letter to all those properties and see if they can get more members in the organization, which is great. And they're also looking at, this takes place in September, but the house tour that they do every year of the Unionville Historic District. So they're starting to look at the needs of that, what date they will choose, as well as insurance needed for the event as well.
Thank you. Any other liaisons? Okay. Report of the town manager, Kathy.
You have the written report. Just a couple items I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of is that Memorial Day Parade, the council usually walks together as a group. So if you're available on Memorial Day, we're scheduled to start off in the Unionville section of town, and we'll form up at 8 a.m. and we step off at 8:30 a.m. and we do that in front of Edwards. That's where we usually meet for Unionville, and then we go to the other side of town and we go in front of the Farmington Inn, and that will start at 10 a.m. and we step off at 10:30 a.m. So if you're available, we usually march together. We had the Hillstead Easter egg hunt with the Community and Recreational Service Department, and this was I didn't realize it was the 40th time we hosted the Easter egg hunt, but it was a different venue. It was up at the Hillstead, and I guess it was about 500 or 600 people in attendance, and I guess it was a really great venue, and it was good for the Hillstead Museum, and also really good for the hunt and the kids and stuff. So, and the donations to the food pantry. Our fire department I attached a memo. They were doing a climb for charity, so I just thought you may have an interest in that. It's Fight for Air's climbs, and it raises more than $45 million to support the mission of the American Lung Association. So both our career and paid firefighters are going to be participating in that. One of the things that has come to my attention is that we've talked about it before, the conservation easement that the land trust has asked a pretty long time ago, and we discussed it, and it's my understanding that the land trust would like to come to the council, somewhat like what the cemetery group did, just give a short kind of presentation, talk about it with the council. I thought that was a good idea because then they could give their perspective of it, and since all of you are new, and I think my understanding is that they did talk about the license agreement that we had mentioned, maybe they would have some interest in, and my understanding is they don't have an interest in that. So, but I think if everyone agreed, I'd try to get them, based on their schedule, either May or June to come and talk to the council. Is that? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other item I wanted to talk about was that we are exploring the idea of live streaming the town council meetings. This council chambers does have the capability to do it. So we've had the cable people in and Nutmeg come in, and it would be at no additional cost, and I thought that would probably be something you guys were interested in, and so I just wanted consensus, and hopefully that would occur in the next couple of months, and we'd start live streaming our meetings, and so I thought that's okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
as long as that's not including any conversation back and forth with those, it sounds like a good idea. There won't be any Twitter or comments coming in.
And then lastly, there's the quarterly report that's included in your packet. And I don't know if you have any specific questions on that, but I'd be more than happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Kathy right now? Okay, Deb.
If you do have anything that you'd like to highlight out of this report and your goals?
I think, again, one of the things that I think we're moving along with, you see that our road projects, and believe it or not, it's hard to believe it, but they do seem like they're coming to an end. So that's really good. Our Route 4 project and the bridge over the trails. So that's been very big with Russ and his department with these road projects. And so I'm happy to see that these things look like they're coming to an end. Also, we're pleased again that the Plan of Conservation and Development was approved, and that was something that was a long-term project. And we're obviously, right now, one of the things that just my staffing time is on a budget, and that's what, we're working towards getting this budget passed, and that's been the last, couple of months between the capital and doing that, and so that's where a lot of my time is being spent. And I look forward to us meeting in May to update the strategic plan, and a lot of these goals are wrapping up, and it would be good to get some new goals.
Hi. Kathy, in here it talked about I think it briefly talks about the Parsons parking lot.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. One of the things that we have talked about, and it's something that's going to come quickly, is because the state, as you know, has given us the right of first refusal for the Parsons piece of property. And one of the things that, again, we have suggested in here was that, we're ready to go once, the state, whether we're going to purchase the property, what we're going to do with the property. But our thoughts were, at the staffing level, was to establish a development committee, maybe somewhat similar to the Gateway Committee, with different types of membership on it, maybe some historic people, some people from the neighborhood, a town-wide committee, to begin discussing the future development of the parcel, including an RFQ process to identify a developer and things like that. So that's something that I think when we had talked about maybe restructuring the Gateway a little bit, this would be kind of I would think, I just called it the development committee for lack of a better term right now. But that's something that I think once we set up our goals in May, we're going to have to look at that quite quickly, because the state's going to finish up the project, and it does take the state, a while before they would be able to sell us the property, but we should get our ducks in a row.
So, and just a follow-up on that. So, because it takes a while for the state, do we have any gauge of, is it going to be this year, or do we really think it's going to be next year?
I am actually meeting with Rose and Bill to try to get a better understanding of the timing of it, so I can report back on that.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Well, let me just, the timing on when the project's going on and the timing when the state will approach us.
Right, yeah, because once the project's supposed to be done in the early summer, and then from there, they would have to get appraisals of the property and some different things. So I don't know how long that takes before we actually would then have involved in it. And then also we have to get some understanding, again, of how we pay for the property.
Right.
And how we do that. So we're regrouping Rose and Bill and I to try to get a plan of attack for us.
Thank you.
And whatever we can have it done when they, come forward.
Yep.
That will be helpful.
Exactly.
So that we're not the ones keeping them waiting, which I'm sure we won't be. CJ.
The groundbreaking ceremony, do we have any closer dates on that?
No, I think it's going to be this spring, but when we will announce when it is. We are ready to go, but we're going to coordinate with the state. They wanted to obviously be involved in it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve Kathy's report, please, Town Manager?
I move to approve the town manager's report.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Okay, appointments.
No.
I move that Mike Revulis be appointed to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission for the balance of a 4-year term beginning immediately and ending January 3rd, 2020.
Second.
Well done. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay,
This is L10. I move that Mindy Ogan be appointed to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission as an alternate for the balance of a 2-year term, beginning immediately and ending January 2020.
Second.
any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you.
Correct.
Okay. Old business. Hearing none. New business. Evelyn.
I move to approve the attached town council recommended budget for the fiscal year 2018-2019.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is your recommended budget, which in the next couple of motions coming up, you'll be sending to the town meeting and to referendum. Just one thing, which it's still kind of confusing to me, but just a point to note is that how, with the names of the different budgets, so it starts out as a town manager's recommended, then it goes to the town council's proposed budget, and then when you approve it, so tonight we talked about the proposed, and then when you approve it, then it turns into the recommended budget. And so now it's the recommended budget, which then goes to referendum.
Other questions? Okay. All in favor of N1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. N2.
I move that the attached resolution items 1 through 9 be forwarded to the annual town meeting with the recommendation that they be approved.
Second.
And these are just various items that you have. It's that the annual town report be approved, that the budget be recommended, that you recommended be approved, that the second town meeting, and a second referendum, if needed, is in part of this. Then we have our bonding items, our 3 different various bonding items, and then items 3 through 8 are times and voting places and the various wordings that go with it.
Questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, N3.
I move to adopt the attached resolution which authorized the town manager to sign a grant application for Small Cities Community Development Grant and to execute an assist agreement under a Small City Community Development Block Grant Program.
Second.
We had the public hearing on this, and this is that, so we're able to apply for the $800,000 grant. And I just want to say kudos to Nancy Parent, who came to me not that long ago, and she's been working hard to put things together. But I think this would be a great grant, and hopefully we'll be able to, the New Horizons will be able to, we'll get the grant for them. And I think that it would be really great for the community and all the work that Nancy has done to get this moving along. So I think it's excellent.
Questions? Yes.
So Kathy, how does that work with, obviously it's a collaboration between the town and New Horizons, but it sounds like as far as who's preparing the grant and where the...
Nancy, you're preparing the grant, correct?
Correct, with some assistance from a consultant, Lisa Lowe and Associates, who has experience in working with small cities grants. But they came quite late in the game, so we really kind of pulled it all together to get it done.
And then, provided we get the grant, and how does that, is the town kind of an administrator and
Nancy, why don't you, we would be the administrator
We
of the
would be
grant.
the administrator, and we would hire the consultant to manage all the paperwork, and which we've done with numerous small cities grants. I think we've had a consultant for every single
Yes.
one, I believe, to be able to assist us with all the paperwork, because it is quite a cumbersome
Reporting
amount of
and-
paperwork, yeah.
Other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. N4.
I move to award the bid number 271 Wells Acre Sewage System Replacement to Tobacco and Son Builders, Inc. of Bristol, Connecticut at a contract cost of $742,175.
Second.
This is the low bid, and it's a contract to replace the gravity sanitary sewer main and catch basins along Wells Drive, Fable Lane, and Harvest Lane, and to restore the site and the roadway. This is taken out of the Water Pollution Control's capital fund, and it is the low bid, and their references have been checked, and the staff is recommending that we award this bid to this company.
Questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, and 5.
I move to approve the attached warning for the April 30th, 2018 second town meeting and the May 10th, 2018 referendum.
Second.
Any questions?
This is just our warning that if first budget fails, then you would have the second warning. We will not be needed if the budget passes.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I'm going to pass down this to Patty while signed.
Okay. And 6.
Okay, I move to approve the following American with Disability Act ADA policy and grievance procedure.
Second.
So the next 4 or 5 items on the agenda all have to do with different policies that the town is required to have. And we update them usually every year in April. And we do not make any changes to any of the policies, Erica?
No, there are no significant
No
changes.
significant changes. And this works out well though too, because part of our small cities grant, all our policies have to be up to date with this. So the next couple of items are just standard policies that we have for the legal requirements that we have them, and the council updates them on a yearly basis.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And 7.
I move to adopt the following fair housing resolution for the town of Farmington and to authorize the town manager to sign and distribute said resolution.
Second.
Again, this is just our fair housing resolution.
Any questions for Kathy? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 8.
I move to adopt the attached affirmative action plan for the town of Farmington.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Okay. I move to adopt the following compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 statement for the town of Farmington and to authorize the town manager to sign and distribute said resolution.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I move to adopt the following fair housing policy statement for the town of Farmington and authorize the town manager to sign and distribute said resolution.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I move to award bid number 270, tree removal and pruning services to Distinctive Gardens and Tree Care of South Windsor, Connecticut in accordance with the schedule of the costs as listed on the attached spreadsheet.
Second.
This is our bid for provide tree removal and pruning services for trees on town-owned property and right-of-ways. This is the low bid. We have used this group for the past 11 years, and we found their performance to be very good, and it is also the low bid.
Any questions?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
The bid is within what's already been proposed for the operating budget for this year to confirm?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And 12.
I move to award a contract for purchase of a One Tiger mid-mount boom mower and tractor roadside mower to HP Fairfield LLC DBA WH Rose of Columbia, Connecticut at the purchase price of $114,246.
Second.
This is to purchase a roadside boom mower and tractor, and funds for this were included in the 17-18 capital budget, and we purchased this through the National Joint Powers Alliance contract, which is a bidding area, which is the low bid.
Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, 15.
Okay, I move to schedule a town council meeting on Tuesday, May 15th, 2018 at 6 p.m. at the Farmington High School.
Second.
When we set up the meeting at the last meeting, we didn't do the 6 o'clock meeting, so we'll do this, that's why I had to add it. So we'll have a 6 o'clock tour, and then 7 o'clock will be the regular meeting, and we'll probably have a bite to eat too, just so people come to that, so we'll have that.
Okay, any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? 14.
I move to cancel the April 24th, 2018 Town Council meeting.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I move to approve the following property tax refund totaling $3,161.02.
Second.
Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Oh. Okay. So with that, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?